So my name is Anthony Konditi. I'm an AC at Fortinet. I'll be your moderator today on how to avoid multi-cloud cybersecurity nightmares. So maybe just to start, maybe what we have seen is that maybe just to start with the journey of digital transformation. What we find that digital transformation started way back even before COVID. So what we were seeing is more of like enterprises trying to adopt to maybe trying to find simpler ways of accessing web application and data, and at the same time enforcing security. So what we saw is that with this move, we saw a huge move into the cloud as a major driver into maybe driving the transformation as part of transformation journey. So what we saw is that with the adoption of cloud-based infrastructure, we found out that this opened up a whole new set of vectors of attacks to most enterprises. So what we are seeing today is that with this adoption to cloud, and this is where we hear about monster computing systems like AWS, GCP, or Azure, for example, just to mention a few, we find that with this adoption to multi-cloud or dynamic cloud-based infrastructures, we are seeing a lot of tool sets, which today we are seeing things like automation tools, management tools, or even Devops tools. And this already brings a whole new issue when it comes to cybersecurity. Also, as we know, anything physical or virtual can be compromised. So, because we have heard about attacks happening in the past. So, what also we are seeing is that in regards to maybe adoption to cloud, most enterprises also are trying to find safe ways or how secure they can connect to the cloud, or maybe trying to look at maybe how they can safeguard data which resides in the cloud. And basically what we see is that with the adoption of cloud, it brings a whole new challenge today. Because one thing that we are seeing is that we lack the skill sets. So when it comes to adoption to cloud, most of us are trying to maybe struggle with skill sets, trying to maybe look at how they can maybe learn different configs, how they can learn configurations, or maybe harden the cloud-based infrastructure. Also, what we are seeing with the cloud adoption is that we have multi-platforms, or maybe looking at multi-cloud infrastructures. Maybe if you are on AWS, Azure, or GCP, you want to find ways in which you can manage those different platforms using a single solution. So this is a big issue which you are seeing because you have to log in into different interfaces. Also, another issue that we are seeing due to maybe hardening and stuff, we are also seeing regulatory compliance issues relating to maybe standards like PCI, HIPAA, or any other standard that needs to be followed. So we are seeing a lot of issues here. At the same time, because we are adopting to multi-cloud and also the dynamic cloud, we have a lot of data which is being generated. And we are trying to find ways in which we can correlate this data and have visibility into those multi-cloud environments. Not necessarily on cloud, even on a hybrid model, for example. So with that said, what we are seeing today, if you look at most, I'll just break it down. If you are looking at the customer journeys to the cloud today, we have three sets of customers. We have those customers who are moving to the cloud just to consume SaaS applications. We have other customers who are maybe moving into the cloud just for DevOps or development of applications, for example. Maybe they are consuming automation tools, or like Docker and Kubernetes, or maybe they are more into containerized environments, for example. We also have another set of customers who are migrating their data centers to the cloud, maybe partially, or or maybe they are trying to move, maybe they have a hybrid model, or maybe they are fully moving into the cloud. So what we are seeing is that we have this set of customers, and all these things, what you find, we do bring different security solutions into play when it comes to such kinds of customers. So for those customers who are consuming SaaS applications, we do have some solutions which we bring, which are more into application, SaaS application, maybe trying to protect the data that resides in those SaaS applications, looking at connectivities, maybe users logging in, location from where these users are logging in from. As well, maybe when we are looking at Devops, we also have solutions which are trying to look at application visibility, as well as also we are also trying to safeguard the web applications from attacks and stuff, and also giving that containerized environment, hardening it with security solutions and stuff. At the same time, maybe those who are moving or migrating their data centers into the cloud, we also are able to give them basic solutions which can help protect or secure those connectivities to the network, and as well also look at the whole visibility of the entire infrastructure. So with that said, what we are doing, maybe us as Fortinet, we do have an extension in which where we can tap into those cloud-based infrastructures. We have different APIs which can be consumed. So what you find is that we have fabric connectors, which are ready-made APIs from our side, which are just plug and play. We also have webhook APIs, which can be consumed by other vendors, which other vendors usually develop, which we can consume from our end. As well, we are also able to give you threat exchange, maybe based on what we are collecting out there in the darknet, and feed you in terms of maybe trying to keep the perimeter up to date with security threats. So that's just a brief. And also, when you look at the major cloud providers, you're able to tap into those cloud providers. This is just a sample which I thought it would be good to showcase here. So this shows you how we can maybe enter into the cloud with some of our solutions and give you that adoptability. So maybe just to jump into the use cases, which I'll be explaining, and also how we can use this to curb the multi-layer issues which are brought with adoption to cloud. So maybe just to start, what you find is that we have our FortiGate firewalls, which are our next generation firewalls, which comes in now to secure, to help customers bring security into the cloud, or even looking at looking at security in the cloud, into the cloud, and between clouds. So what we are able to do with this next generation firewalls from our side is that we are able to bring in that secure connectivity by giving you our features like IPsec connections or tunnels, or even offering SSL VPN, and also offering multi-factor authentication, maybe to enforce a second factor in case of maybe leaked credentials. You're able to safeguard that. At the same time, also, when we are looking at security into the cloud, we are looking at both east-west traffic and north-south traffic, whereby you find we are able to safeguard these environments from attacks originating from outside, and at the same time, maybe attacks trying to move literally within those environments. Also, what you find is that we come in and help you maybe enforce security in terms of maybe enforcing application filtering or web filtering, or even looking at intrusion prevention attacks using our next generation firewalls. And at the same time, we're able to collect logs across the cloud-based infrastructures and give you telemetry into what's happening within your cloud-based infrastructure. And also, when it comes to maybe trying to tame the multi-cloud infrastructure that you have, we have a fabric connector, whereby you find you are able to connect into different clouds and have a central point of visibility in terms of cyber threats or security incidences that you are receiving from our FortiGate solution. At the same time, we are also able to bring in our SD-WAN capabilities into the cloud, so whereby you find we are able to bring things like WAN optimization, application steering, and at the same time making that continuity of business to be smooth and flawless. So if I touch on the next solution which we have, which can help you mitigate maybe nightmares, maybe when we are looking at Devops environment, those people who are building applications, maybe you are following some application development like life cycles, for example, maybe you are looking at continuous integration or continuous development work. We come in with our WAF solution, which is our FortiWeb, which is able now to help the DevOps build the application as they enforce security. So what you find is that we are able to come in and help maybe look at how we can defend you from things like top 10 OWASP vulnerabilities, maybe things like SQL injection, file inclusion attacks, or even cross-site scripts, just to name but a few. And also we are able to come in and help you maybe protect those environments from bot-related attacks, maybe botnets trying to maybe orchestrate things like DDoS attacks, or even things that are trying to maybe bring things relating to transaction frauds and stuff. So we're able to defend you using our machine learning and artificial intelligence capabilities. At the same time, maybe when you are looking at things relating to regulatory compliance, because this is something which makes people scared to go into the cloud, we are able to come in and help help you achieve, maybe in regards to scanning, in regards to maybe PCI DSS or HIPAA or any other compliance standard that you might be following. At the same time, maybe for those who publish their APIs, maybe the internet-facing APIs of web applications, we are able to come in and help defend those APIs, whereby you find we're able to encapsulate the APIs or hide them from the malicious actors. So what you find is that any request maybe being subjected to the APIs, it usually passes through our FortiWeb or our WAF solution. So maybe just now to go deep into the cloud platform and what we are able to do into the cloud platform. As I told you, we are able to come in and protect the SaaS applications that you have, maybe looking at data residing in those SaaS applications, or looking at users logging into those SaaS applications, even based on location and stuff. We are also able to come in and look at the container or enforce container security into play using some of our solutions that we have. So what you find is that we are able to look at the whole container and maybe safeguard the automation tools or whatever is happening, give you continuous monitoring, maybe looking into misconfigurations, or if someone is uploading a file or an object, we're able to analyze that file before we let it to be used within that containerized infrastructure. At the same time, we come in and help you manage the different cloud platforms from a single solution. So if you are on GCP, AWS, Azure, or OCI, or Alibaba, we are able to manage it from a central location. So you just have one single dashboard which is able to visualize the risk across the different cloud-based platforms. So that's just a brief. So I'll touch on each solution, which they are just tools. So I'll start by talking about our FortiCASB, our cloud access security broker. So what you find is that with the CASB, it's a solution which we bring to help protect the SaaS applications. So what you find is that we are able to look at maybe threats, or maybe look at users maybe targeting you, maybe in regards to maybe trying to maybe things like brute force. Maybe someone is trying to brute force an access to a certain application. We are able to identify that. Sorry. I think it moved. Sorry. Maybe we are able to identify that using our FortiCASB solution. So also what you find is that With the solution itself also, we are able to detect maybe things like maybe risky behaviors, maybe using our user and entity behavior analysis, whereby now you find you're able to track maybe location of a user, maybe where is he trying to log in from. This can help you curb fraud or maybe attacks that maybe are being targeted towards you, for example. As well, we can also bring in data security for the data that is residing within your cloud-based buckets or your cloud-based infrastructures or within the SaaS application. So what you find is that we are able to scan for, maybe we have some DLP features whereby we use some regular expressions, whereby you find we are able to detect maybe a violation of some of these policies. Maybe if you have certain sensitive solutions, sensitive data that you want protected. So we're able to defend you using our CASB, using those kinds of solutions. As well, also, we are able also to look at things to do with sanctioned and unsanctioned IT, whereby you find we are able to interconnect or integrate with our FortiGates or our FortiAnalyzer to feed us with some intelligence on what is sanctioned and what is not sanctioned, for example. So we're able to look into that and help you protect. So the last part, maybe in regards to our use case, I'll talk about our cloud workload protection solution, which this is a solution which comes in now to help you as a cloud manager or someone who is managing the cloud security. We are able to use the tool to help you maybe look at different cloud instances. Maybe if you are on GCP, Azure, or AWS, we are able to manage it using this solution. So, and with it also, you are able to see the risks posed on the different cloud providers. So I'm able to see Amazon maybe has the highest risk, and I'm also able to look at maybe things to do with traffic analysis, maybe looking at botnet activities, malwares that are targeting those cloud-based platforms that you have. And at the same time, I'm able also to give you continuous monitoring in regards to maybe in case maybe there is change in some configs or there is some change in something on your containerized environment. At the same time, also what you find is that maybe for Devops, in case maybe they are uploading something on the containerized environment, I'm able to look into those objects which are being uploaded and maybe see if they have malicious artifacts within them and maybe push them to a sandboxing and alert you. So that marks the end of my presentation.